Let me get a heat check, heat check, heat check, heat check, heat check, heat check, heat. Can I get a heat check, 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 heat check. Let me get a heat check, heat check, heat check, heat check.
All right, hey everybody, welcome to SML Heat Check. This is our second episode here, which works out to be our playoff episode. We just wrapped up our second regular season, getting ready to jump into the playoff run here. I believe tonight is the last game, so we'll have all the matchups after Grams and Rowan plays. I'm joined by Mad Bomber once again, and today we have a celebrity guest picking with us, our boy Tiny. How are you guys doing?
Oh, doing wonderful. Not as good as Tiny with that PS5, but doing pretty good.
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, great day for Tiny here. Love to see that. Love seeing the picture in the group me here. Absolutely congratulations on that. What do you think about your season, man? How'd your season go? It's kind of a tough one record wise, it looked like, but hopefully some things to build on.
Yeah, man. I mean, the season didn't go well, of course, but I led the league in receiving. My receiver, Lockett, I'm pretty sure he led the league. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I didn't get to see the end of the season stats yet, but he was close if he didn't get it. Yeah, so I'm good with that. We'll just kind of go on to next year and see how it goes, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, hey, if you're at the top of the leaderboards receiving wise, that'll at least be should be a dev bump. So, that always makes it easier going to the next season.
So we just finished up the season, Tiny. You played quite a few of the playoff teams that are going to be playing in this season's playoffs. Which team do you think gave you the most trouble?
Well, considering I play in my division, the whole division makes the playoffs except me. Dump, I don't know, man. I can't beat him, man. I don't know what it is with Dump, man. He's got such a good game against me. Something about him, man. I don't know. It gets me every time. But I would say Dump is probably the most dangerous if he's on his game. It depends though. Like you noticed, he could lose by 20 points to Meats, or he could win by 30 points. It's hard to tell with Dump. You never know. But Dump is the most dangerous if he's ever on his game.
Yeah, I could see
that. All right,
that.
so I won't be coming to you for the blueprint then, because I'm pretty sure I have him in round 1.
Yeah, don't come to me.
Okay, duly noted.
All right, so what do you think about next year? You gonna be that fourth team in from the AFC West, or are you just doomed to the basement?
Like, I'm gonna try. This season was kind of like after I went. I think it was like 0-7 before I got my first win or something like that. 0-8. After that, I was kind of like, well, I'll just kind of win my games that I can, and I knew I wasn't going to get in the playoffs after that point, so I just kind of played what I could, and just kind of hang out. So I'm going to try to do what I can this year. The draft doesn't do much for me this year. Like, I got a second-round pick. That's it. But after this year, I finally got a first-round pick, guys.
There you go. You're going to need it, too, with that aging Seahawks team.
I know, man. But we'll see what happens next year. Like, I'll play, and then if I'm shitty again, just like this year, I'll have a first-round pick. So I'm ready to go.
It might be a long
Jamal
cycle
Adams
for you.
Trade. That trade a blessing and a curse.
Yep.
Not trading that guy. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll jump into weeks 15, 16, and 17. We'll recap those real quick before we get to our predictions. And so looking at these, we had the Broncos took on the Chargers, and surprisingly, Death Wish beat Dan 35-21. I think this was more of a Dan just trying to get his dev games. I know he had 2, and one of them was a defensive player. So I don't expect that to be a score we see too much between those two. What do you think about that?
No, but Death Wish seems pretty solid. Watching his streams, he looks like a good player. The kind that can definitely give teams trouble, if not somebody, maybe not going, that 14-2 consistently, but he does look like somebody who can, give playoff teams a run for their money and, maybe sneak in next year. We'll see.
Yeah, I think he could keep ZZ in the basement of the AFC West. which I know he was probably looking forward to moving up at least one spot. Then we had another surprising finish. Mike and the Packers, 31-7 over the Browns. Browns fighting for that AFC North championship, and then couldn't put away the Packers. So that was another surprise. Then we had Paulie, 49-24 over Dookie. This one, for all the talking Dookie did, he just got punched in the mouth by Paulie, and he couldn't do anything. I don't know how much of that game you saw, but 49-24 is actually closer than the game was.
That's all right. Dookie gained confidence out of that loss, so
That's right. That's right. Losing by 25 made him feel better about his team.
yeah, he felt better about his team after he gave up a zillion points to a slow-moving offense.
Yeah, which I think I
Yeah,
don't know if it was him that said that
Paulie
the
average,
Dolphins
like,
were the
4
worst
points a
offense in
game?
the league. I think it might have been Meats, but worst offense in the league puts up almost half 100 on you. You probably shouldn't be feeling
He's
better
like,
about your team.
I feel so much better after giving up 45 points to a guy that averages 4 points a game. I feel so much better.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how the playoffs go. He's got that first round bye because somebody lost after getting
Don't know who that could be.
the first seed, and they blew it. But yeah, I'm interested to see how the rest of it goes because I think every team left is going to give him trouble considering he didn't really play too many people during the year. He played RD early, and he played 2 games against Royce. I think he only actually played one of them. So this was his real first test, and it didn't look good. Outside of that, now we have the Cowboys beat the Chiefs. Nothing real surprising there. Falcons 17-10 over the Eagles. Panthers and Rowan, kind of like we predicted, it was going to be a high-scoring game, and it was 38-32. Royce ended up coming away with that one. Patriots fell to the Bills. That was only the Bills. They only ended up with 5 wins on the season. Both teams 5-10 to finish. I think they each are simming this last game or something. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter, so we're not playing it. Bengals, Ravens, another one. It's like nobody in the AFC North wanted to win anything because the Bengals come in and they beat the Ravens 35-17. I don't know. I didn't look at the playoff seeding or what's going on there, whether they're throwing the division, but it seemed like nobody wants it.
Hey, let's just say MIP sucks, man. Don't you go with that.
Then you had the Saints come in and he finished off a good season. Beat Washington 28-3. Not really an achievement there. 24-10 Bears beat the Seahawks. I don't know what Tiny's doing over there at 3-13, but couldn't beat the Bears. But that's all right because apparently they're a pretty tough team.
Yeah, I don't know about hating on teams that can't beat the Bears. Let's take a.
By the way, that was a forced loss because Figs for some reason works at like 3 a.m. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it happens.
I also don't want to hate on people who work at 3 a.m. here. This is just going south for me.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that, man.
So then we had the Raiders. Raiders beat KJ. KJ only ended up with 1 win. I think he's going to end up with a second win in week 17. But so
I'm pretty sure he beat the shit out of us easy.
Yeah, blew his chance at the first overall pick. So even when he wins, he loses.
Yeah, it seems like one I would have thrown away.
Yeah. Now Cardinals
miss a few field goals or something. Whoops.
Cardinals in week 15 took on Dump and beat him after you were just saying Dump is the most dangerous team. Beat him 48-21. That was actually the last win on the season for Meats because the next 2 weeks don't go so well for him. Colts beat the Jets 43-28. Not really shocking there. Rams blew out the Texans 37-7. Titans, I ended up losing to the Titans, so I can't say much either. 35-28. It seems like every year I have one game against Coop where Derrick Henry just runs for 1,000 yards in that game. I think he only had 300 this week, so I slowed him down.
Only.
Hey, man. I got Henry. I got the Titans into the league, man. I don't blame you. Like, it's hard as hell to stop that guy.
Oh, it is. As soon as that X Factor lights up, the game's over.
Yeah, it's over, man.
And then the Vikings beat the Lions 42-14. Great job. Yeah, week 16. So we had the Bengals. Things went back to normal. They lost to the Texans. The Bills lost to the Titans. Meats took on Prime in the game of the week, and he gets beat 27-25. That was a pretty good one. The Dolphins beat the Jets.
Prime's getting hot, man.
Prime is getting hot. 14-2. I don't know if he was ever cold other than the first 3
That's
weeks
fair.
he started 1-2. Dolphins blew out the Jets. I got back on track. Took on the Patriots, won 29-17. That was a big game for me because that clinched a playoff berth. Dan gets back on track, beating the Raiders. So this one, the Raiders are 10-5. Dan beats them 31-17, and he won pretty big earlier in the year too. I'm not sold on Future being back yet, other than he's just winning games he should win.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
definitely seems to be a bit of the narrative here. I keep hearing a lot of Future's back, Future's back, Future's back. Obviously, Dan, no joke of an opponent. Last show we had him ranked, first in the AFC.
Yep.
But yeah, I think he's 0-4 against Dan now in the cycle.
Yeah.
So we'll see. He does sneak into the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
I believe
he's
he
in.
did.
He's got a NYT.
All right, so yeah, we'll see what he does there. NYT, like I think he can win that game.
yeah.
The Ravens are tough to slow down, but I think he can win that, and that might help kind of push forward the being back narrative.
Yeah, it'll be
I'm
interesting
kinda-
to see.
I'm kind of with Faz here. I don't know though. Like, man, NYT's so hot and cold, man. You never know. Like, NYT could like win by 30 or lose by 20. You don't know.
Mhm.
I think the beginning of the game is going to determine that one. If NYT gets out to a big lead, it's over. If he falls behind,
Kind of
even by 2
kinda
scores,
sounds like
I think
the
he's done.
Ravens, man. Sounds like the Ravens in real life.
Yeah, pretty much.
True.
So then we had another big game. 49ers and Dump took on the Rams, and he just blew them out, 42-10. That was definitely, I didn't see that coming. Then we had the Bears. Looks like they beat the Vikings by a field goal here. Yeah, chance to
Oh yeah, that was
chance to
me.
hold
Yep.
on to that number 1 seed, and Vikings
fart?
Yeah.
couldn't get it done.
Yeah,
What happened?
So Justin Jefferson's X Factor game happened. So I threw
300
3
yards.
pick sixes in the first half, forcing the ball to Justin Jefferson, which didn't help my cause. It's tough to give away 21 free points and then
Yeah,
win the game anyway. But then really the story of it was he just started to run the ball in the second half, and there was just nothing I could do about it. Pretty much simple as that. He would hand the ball off and I would just watch him go. I think at one point he scored on 3 straight 1-play drives that were all runs.
Are you talking about against 49ers?
no, that was
Bears,
the
Bears.
Vikings Bears.
Yep, Vikings Bears.
Okay.
Yeah, low moment
I
of the
thought
season
you were
there.
talking about against Dump, and Dump is
Oh, yeah.
extremely frustrating with his running back Mostert, who is
Yeah.
not that good, but for some reason Mostert is a goddamn 99,000 overall.
If he gets
And that
free, it's over.
It's
Yeah, pretty
ridiculous,
much.
man.
That's
He's not-
the way Tariq Cohen is. That's exactly like playing against.
Neither of them are hard to bring down
against
if
Phillies.
you can catch them.
Yep.
Cohen is the same way.
Now the good part about Cohen is that he's like 2 feet tall. So if you get hit stick on him, he dies and he
Yeah.
fumbles usually. I think I've
That's
forced
true.
like 3 or 4 fumbles against him. Mostert doesn't do that, but just trying to catch the 2 of them is no
Yeah.
small task.
All right, so then we had the Browns. They beat the Chiefs 28-14. Buccaneers. Dookie comes back. He puts up 56, but he gives up another 42 points to Rowan. Again, the defense is going to be the death of him. And we saw what happened when he faces a decent defense. Paulie shut him down. So it'd be interesting to see come playoff time. Chargers, Death Wish again. He gets a win, but it's against Washington. So
Yeah, what's the over under on how long Monk survives? Okay, who's cooking over there? What?
yeah, it sounds like maybe Tiny's unwrapping that PS5. I don't know what's going on over there.
Tiny said, "Forget you guys, it's ready."
Yeah. As far as Blunt, I don't know. It's already, I think this morning it was 5 days inactive. I don't remember the last time he played a game.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he's still in the league. To be perfectly honest, it doesn't seem like he even wants to be in the league. So moving on, we had the Falcons take on the Saints. Falcons beat the Saints. I don't know what to make of this Saints team. 9-7 on the season. I wasn't expecting him to be 9-7, but he played really well this season.
The Saints team just seems very limited. Like obviously we've all talked about the offense. We know it's running through Kamara. So it seems like if you can put together a half decent game plan of shutting him down, it seems like you're going to come out of that one with a victory. And then so I don't know if it's just teams not game planning for that and he's, squeaking by with wins there, or if maybe sometimes Kamara just goes off and he can't be tackled. But yeah, I don't know. The team just seems very very one-dimensional.
Oh yeah, that's 9 wins though. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad for one-dimensional.
In the NFC, that gets you in playoff contention. So
It's true.
and then we had the Packers take on the Lions. Lions guy, feel bad for him. He's just getting beat to hell. 42-6 to Mike. So I mean,
It's funny. Hova's he's not a bad player. Obviously I get to play him twice a cycle,
Mhm.
and he's not bad. He just like will make one pass per drive that's like, dude, like what did you see on the field there?
Yeah. It seems like with him, from the ones that I've watched, and even the game I played against him last season, he keeps it close until he makes a mistake, and then and I have the same problem sometimes where it just snowballs. But I feel like he's got it like 10 times worse, and maybe it's because he's got the Lions, that you're just not fighting back when you start pushing like that. You just don't have the team for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the games start out first half really good, and then it's over.
Yeah, it's funny. He'll march down the field. It looks good. He's nailing some plays together. I'm like, wow, like good read. And then like he just throws one like directly at you.
Yep.
It's like, well, I don't know. I don't know what you saw there, but that wasn't the play.
So after that game, we also had the Panthers take on the Cowboys, 2 possible playoff teams depending on the Cowboys-Giants game later. And Royce won that one 27-24. Maybe it got played. I don't even know with Royce's games. We had the Ravens beat the Steelers 17-6. KJ just it seems like he either gets blown out or it's really close, which I guess is pretty much the only 2 options. But
I don't know if you've seen my comment earlier today. I said before KJ and ZZ played earlier, I said it would be either 85-0 or 3-13. I don't know.
Yeah, like he just can't
One of the two.
He just can't get over the hump. But
KJ's right there, man. Like KJ plays so well in some of his games, and then sometimes, man, it's like, what are you doing?
It's a good roster too. I mean, there's a lot of really good pieces on defense. So I don't know. I feel like if I were to see the Steelers on my schedule for next season, like I wouldn't be looking at that as a freebie win, which normally
KJ,
one in,
like,
he's
like
1 in
one of those
14.
teams where you want to play. Like if you're playing them, you're like, damn, I don't know, like if it's one of those free wins or not. You know what I mean? Like some of those games you look at and you're like, all right, this is good, but KJ's like, I don't know.
Well, I think some of it comes down to his play style, because he runs out the clock. Like you don't get a lot of drives.
Yeah, and KJ will grind the whole clock out.
The problem with that is, though, if you don't have an offense that can score, you're not giving yourself many opportunities to come back either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you get down 3 scores, hell, you might not get 3 more drives in the second half. So you're just over. And I think that's why you see blowouts or close games, because if you get to stop, you're probably not getting it back more than one more time anyway. So
we got to get some home runs in that playbook, KJ. We'll work on it.
So I think that it helps him in some games to keep it close, but it kills him in the ones where he's down 2 scores.
Yep.
Maybe he changes that, or maybe he just keeps going 1 and 2 and 14, whatever. And then we had the Seahawks. Seahawks get a win. Big win over the Eagles, making sure you're not the second win for the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm telling you, just let me get to next year. Let's see where we go. I feel like I'm better than what I showed this year. Obviously, like last year, I was 9-7 is what I ended up.
Yeah, I think you were just 1 game out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
or a tiebreaker.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens next year, man. Like with Russell Wilson and all my receivers that I have, like I've been boosting those receivers throughout the whole season. So we'll see what happens.
All right. So this brings us to Week 17. Week 17 is not quite done yet, but all but 1 game really is the only one left that matters. So the Bengals, again, NFC or AFC North, just nobody wants to win. Bengals rout the Browns 35-14. I don't know.
I'm glad we didn't do power ranks this week, because I don't know what the heck I would have done with the Browns.
The Bengals might be a top team in the power rankings after beating the Browns beating the Ravens.
Woods is like, Woods can be number 1 one week, and he can be 32 the next week. I don't know about Woods.
Yeah.
Man. I never know with him.
Well, and then the second game is the Dolphins losing to the Saints. Now I know Paulie pulled
Another one.
pulled his starters, I think, in the first quarter, but not before Tua threw 3 interceptions. So it's not like not like he hadn't already done some damage before he got pulled.
Yeah, Prime made sure to put it in chat first before Tua got pulled. He didn't say anything about that. He just said
Yeah.
probably was getting his ass whipped. Is all he said.
Yeah, there was a little bit more to it, but Tua had already thrown 3 interceptions. Then you had the Lions again. Surprisingly, Dookie only gave up 3 points, but it was to the Lions, so 35-3. Vikings took on the Rams. This was a big game in Week 17, and especially for Meats, because if the Rams won, this was going to be NFC West champs. But you ended up taking care of business, 35-14. Looked close for a while.
Yeah, I was definitely worried. Coming off of a week where I got gashed in the run game, I was definitely a little concerned, but thankfully came up with I think it was 3 goal line stands. I think he was on the one on 3 separate drives, and I think he only got points out of one of them.
Yeah, I was surprised to see it. Looked like around, was it second quarter maybe? He took out Cam Akers too, which surprised me, being that this was for the NFC West Championship. But
yeah, I guess he was content with his playoff spot, didn't necessarily need the division, or just thought that he was going to run on me anyway, even
that's
with
possible,
his backup.
yeah, because it was only a 14-14 game at that time.
Yeah, no, it was close pretty much the whole way. It was a good game. I didn't really pull away until the last quarter, I think.
Well, then the Colts took on the Texans, 34-14. No surprise there. Dump played the Seahawks 28-17. Tiny kept it close.
No, it was close, man. It was a good game. But Dump, he always gets me, man. There at the end, like he's always got something for me every time.
Probably a halfback dive.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Then the Broncos took on the Ravens. Dan gets back to normal, and it's 28-14 over the Ravens. I beat Meats 29-28. Some weird stuff going on in that game. He went for it, 2-point conversion at the end of the game.
He loves that, man.
Yeah, it looked like he might have been in. Can't review it or replay, and he wasn't in. So 29-28. It ended up he scored on DeAndre Hopkins, hit like a 52-yard bomb with like 30 seconds left or something like that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. When in doubt, air it
PI
out, I
offense.
guess.
Yeah, the PI offense.
Yeah, and you have to watch with Meats. Kyler Murray, he's going to snap the ball and he's going to take off to one of the sidelines and then wait for somebody to get open. So you have to watch Kyler Murray. I don't know what to do. I tried containing. I tried spying.
EA was so kind to give us a great feature in quarterback contains that works so well.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I play Meat twice a year. Like, you can't contain. You can contain every time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I think next time I might
even
even just come out in dime and send the corner from each side.
Yep.
I mean, because it's
actually
pretty
really
reliable that he's going to roll to one side. So just send a corner and let him roll into it, because contain doesn't work.
Faz knows now. He's like, oh, shit. All right, now I know.
Catch me in dime the whole game next time I play.
Maybe even drop like the 2 ends back into coverage or something. I don't know.
He's like,
but
don't ask why I'm in dime every time now.
Yeah. But
that's actually a really interesting thought. I'm gonna go scheme this up in practice mode here.
It was super frustrating every snap to put my guys in contain or spy and just watch him.
It's annoying, yeah.
Run off to the side,
especially when you
and nobody's there.
But the only thing is, like, the thing with Meats is, like, he doesn't just spam his quarterback. Like, he'll run, but only when.
Oh no, I'm not talking about running to run the quarterback. I think he only had 6 carries. I'm talking about when he runs to the outside to pass. Like, that was frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Having contain and watching him just run past it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the worst part about the contain too is, especially when you're doing that every play, sometimes he'll get, a snap off quick, and it puts your user into that stupid SWAT animation and basically just takes you out of the play.
Yeah.
Yep.
It almost looks like he just trips and falls forward.
Yeah, like it absolutely looks like he just eats it right off the start, and it's like, well, okay, that's a completion.
Hopefully he didn't see that.
Out of the play the whole time.
Yep. While also not containing your defensive ends.
Exactly.
So like
you get nothing out of it. 2 guys in the wrong
Yeah.
spot. Hell,
It's
one
just
play I
awful.
put Peppers on a spy. He was supposed to blitz. I put him on a spy, and he runs it right to. It actually wasn't Murray. Who did I manned him up on the running back, and he just completely ran inside and out of the play. So EA does some really weird stuff.
For no
That's
reason.
great.
But yeah.
Oh,
So I
man,
won
you
that
hate
one
to see that.
29-28. So Meats kind of backs into the NFC West Championship there. And then
we'll see next year. We'll see what happens.
yeah, I'd imagine we'll see fairly similar order, at least
Probably.
with the Seahawks
Yes.
at the bottom somewhere. You can go ahead and
Okay,
lock
yeah.
that in. That's my my stone cold lock for the week.
Dang.
Seahawks will be at the
Just
bottom of the
dogged him.
NFC West.
Hi, welcome to the show. You suck.
Yeah. All right,
wow,
so Tiny
thanks.
won't be back.
Goodness.
And then the last game that was actually played in Week 17 was the Panthers beat the Falcons 42-38. Again, I don't think Royce's defense is that great. He seems to give up a lot
It's
of
not.
points. So it's just somehow get a stop on McCaffrey.
Royce ain't real.
And
Telling
then
you guys.
we've got a bunch of games that weren't played yet. Steelers, KJ, I guess, beat ZZ pretty badly. Like I said, even when he wins, he loses because now he's got an extra win and he's out of that first pick.
Yeah.
Big
Bad
game
call.
on here is going to be, though, the Giants and the Cowboys. So we might as well just preview this game a little bit. It's going to be Grams is 7-8, Rowan is 8-7, but because of conference record or division record, whatever the one is the first tiebreaker, the winner of this game is going to the playoffs. The loser is out of the playoffs. So with that said, who do you think is going to win?
Take it away,
break.
Tiny. You're the guest.
Oh, all right. So I didn't know this. So Grams and Royce is winners goes to the playoffs.
Grams and Rowan.
Rowan. Okay.
Yeah, the winner's going to win
man,
the NFC East.
I would take Grams all day. All day.
Okay, what do you think?
Interesting. So I'm on Camp Rowan here.
Well, Rowan can score 175 points,
He
but
can.
he can't stop anything.
He may give up 195 though.
It's true.
Exactly.
But is there anyone better at getting those victories that I've noticed?
That's true too.
He finds a way to do it. I think I said this on the last heat check. He finds a way. So I don't know. I think especially because Grams likes to slow it up a little bit on offense.
Yeah.
It could be one of those scenarios where he just doesn't get enough possessions to keep up with Rowan.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's a good point.
I just wonder how jet lagged Rowan's going to be. We're talking about a guy that he just changed his flight and sat at an airport on standby so that he could make it back in time to not have his game simmed. Now
that's dedication, baby.
That is, but
tonight? Is it going to be late tonight?
they're going to start at 7, I think, is last I heard. So it'll be a 7 p.m. start. I think Prime and myself are going to commentate the game.
Oh man, I hope y'all do. That'd be
Ooh,
fun.
I think
I'll
that's
be
the
tuning
plan.
in for sure then.
As long as Prime's not running around collecting all the PS5s in Indiana.
Yeah, getting 17 PS5s.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's currently in line for another one somewhere.
I think he drove all the way over to like Kentucky or something. I don't know. He's just gonna hit up the entire Midwest. But
Just gonna start calling this dude Santa Claus.
yeah, I don't know. He drove like 90. He said he's doing 90 miles an hour to go 35 miles or something and get.
Yeah, he was
Get
doing
two more.
90 to 35
Like,
minors.
Jesus.
So.
Recording a video at the same
Yeah,
time.
and recording the video. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. I want to go with Grams, thinking he's been in this position more because this is basically like a playoff game. But just Rowan switching his flight, going on standby. I mean, that'd be really bad for him to just come in and get blown out by Grams.
Yeah, it means so much more to Rowan, but man,
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Rowan. The Cinderella story.
I understand.
It's all gonna work out for Rowan. He's not gonna have done this for nothing.
All right, let's see it. I want to see it.
All right, but then we have a couple more games. None of these really have any playoff implications. Some of them I think are forced wins. Some of them are disconnects. I don't know. Who cares? So that was our recap from weeks 15, 16, and 17. So looking at our standings from last week, which was our first episode, both of us are 4-3 on our predictions. So we're better than 500. We're right more than we're wrong. So that's not
We'd
bad.
be leading the NFC East.
That's right. We'd be leading the NFC
That's true.
East. So what we'll do for this week, and we're not going to do our power rankings just because the playoffs are going to figure that out for us this week. We're going to go in and we're going to do our predictions for the first round of games. So the first wild card round, and we'll start with you, Tiny, on this one, It's going to be the Broncos versus the Browns. Who do you have in this game?
Broncos.
You have the Broncos?
Yep.
All right, that's some insightful wisdom
That's
you
all I
just
got.
imparted on us, just the Broncos.
Nope. Just,
All right.
just Broncos.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick the Broncos as well. I don't just with Woods losing to the Bengals and being just up and down, you can't even be remotely
Woods
up and
is
down
so
against Dan.
inconsistent, man. He can't. I don't have any faith in Woods. Man.
I'm not sure it would matter. The only thing that could change that is if Nick Chubb somehow gets lit up in X Factor really early, maybe Woods can grind it out and keep it a low scoring game and force some mistakes.
Nah.
Dan's actually missing his rookie running back Elam, so maybe Woods can pull it out, but I don't think there's any way. I'm gonna go with Dan.
Yeah.
What about you, Foz?
Yeah, I think even if Dan's missing his running back, I mean, it's not talked about a lot, but Dan can still pass with some of the best players in the league. So I think there's too much there. Maybe if Woods was coming in like scorching red hot, but I think he lost 2 of his last 3. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to go Broncos here.
All right. And real quick for the record, is it Faz or Foz?
It can be either. So I mean, last name's DeFazio, so like technically it would be Foz, but most people say Faz.
Yeah,
so,
we were having the debate earlier before we went live. No. Just
yeah,
figured we'd get that out
whichever you
there.
prefer. I'll answer both. So
all right, so you go both ways. Got it.
Yep.
All right, so Ravens versus Raiders.
I walked into that one.
Well, the good news is that means you might be able to get Tiny's PS5.
Ooh, hey, whoa.
Whoa.
All right, so we have the Ravens versus the Raiders. And I'll go ahead and pick first on this one. I'm going to go with Future. I think Future could be back. Like I said, 10-5. He's got Washington as his last game. I think that's a forced win. Not like it mattered. They could have played it. And I don't think it would have made. He could have put Ruggs at quarterback, and I think he'd still beat Washington. So I'm going to say
Ruggs
Future.
Is probably a sneaky good quarterback with that speed.
Oh, probably. You can't contain him.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I'm going to go with Future on this one. I just think same with kind of the same thing with Woods, where he's inconsistent. We just watched the Ravens lose to the Bengals. So I'm gonna go with Future on this one. What do you think, Tiny?
Yeah, NYT is very inconsistent, but I'm gonna go with NYT here, man.
Okay. Fast.
Yeah, I think NYT a little inconsistent, but I've noticed that he's very consistent against teams not in his division. And he seems to be very good against teams that are not the Bengals, not the Steelers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with NYT in this one.
Okay. Anybody not bad, he's good.
Yeah. Bringing the A game for the playoffs here, I like it. I'm going to go there.
All right, so the next one and last one in the AFC is going to be myself and the Dolphins. Now, Paulie beat me pretty good earlier this year, but he did the same thing last year. And then in the playoffs, I beat him. So hopefully I'll have the same outcome.
Wait, why are you bringing that up? Who cares about last year's playoffs, Bomber?
Well, just because you weren't in them don't mean other people don't care about them. All right, so we'll start with Tiny then. Who are you picking in this game?
I'm gonna pick Polly, man. Got to go with Polly.
Ouch.
The Boston Bomber, man. Let's go.
It makes sense. He took down the self-proclaimed Donna
Just call him
Dookie
the
or
Boston
whatever.
Bomber.
I did.
I think it's a very sensitive term.
Oh wait, yeah, that is probably sensitive. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll just go with Polly.
Okay, you're gonna go with Polly. What do you got, Foss?
I like Paulie in a different matchup. I think that you can hang with him defensively. And those are the teams that Paulie can sneak up on, is the teams that don't quite have the same level defense. You do. So I think you'll be able to shut him down. And even if it's a low scoring game, I think you come out on top.
All right. Well, I like your optimism, so I'm gonna ride it, and I'll just go with myself as well. Because why not?
Well, what's that Faz suck on Bomber today? Anyway, Go ahead.
And I'm not the one with the PS5. All right, so we'll go with the next game is going to be the Vikings versus the 49ers. And this is Faz's game against Dump. Woo! And I'll pick first. I'm going to take Faz in this game. I think Dump he's been good lately, but I think he's still too inconsistent. I mean, I don't think he's going to have the defense to slow down Cook and your passing offense. And you just got Justin Jefferson, superstar or X Factor? So
X Factor.
That's going to be another toy
with
for you to play with.
Two useless superstar abilities.
Yeah. I just think you're gonna pull it out against Dump. Tiny?
I'll take Faz. That's all I got to say.
Thank you for your input.
I love Dump. Dump's my boy, but I'll take Faz.
All right. I
appreciate the love. Yeah, I'll pick myself.
All right. All right. So then we have the Cardinals and Meats taking on the Panthers and Royce. This one could be pretty good. Who do you have in this one, Foz?
This is a tough matchup to call. I feel like both players play offense similarly. I think at the end, I think Meats' defense is going to be a little too much for Royce. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals on that one.
All right. What do you got, Tiny?
Same. I feel like it'll be a close game for the most part, and then he'll end up winning at the end of the game.
I'm gonna
3-point game, I'd say.
3-point game. All right. Well, I'm gonna go with. I'll stick with the 3-point game, but I'm gonna go with Royce.
Ooh.
Okay. A little upset alert.
So, as you've seen the last 2 seasons, I know what it's like to be on a losing streak, and I think it does start to kind of get in your head.
I get it. I understand.
I'm sure you. It's not a streak if all you do is lose. You just lose.
Hey, come on now.
That's not really a streak. Like, that's just what you do.
Oh man,
but
it's a culture.
That was rough.
But
man.
Meats has dropped 2 straight, and I think that's going to be in his head a little bit, trying to figure out what he's doing wrong, and the playoffs is not a good time to be trying to figure that out. And Royce is.
The folding chair narrative sneaking up in the background.
Yeah, he's going to have that in the back of his head. He's got 2 straight losses in the back of his head. I think Royce is going to give him problems, and I think Royce is going to come out on top.
Oh,
man. All
right. So our last game.
I'll be watching intently.
So our last game is going to be the NFC East.
East.
Taking on the Rams. It's going to be either Rowan or Grams. I don't know that it matters. I'm going to take the Rams either way. You could have all 4 teams playing against the Rams at once, and I still think I'm going to take the Rams. That division's awful. I mean, you've got 2 one-win teams at the bottom of that division, and still the top 2 teams are going to have no better than 8 wins. Like that's bad. So I'm going to take the Rams, and that's probably the easiest pick out of this group. Tiny, who do you got?
Rams.
All right, man, a few words.
Yeah. I love Tiny's analysis. We got to get him on ESPN.
That's all I got, man. Just Rams.
He said Rams.
All right, Foz, who do you
Case closed. Done. See, it's funny. I actually think that the matchup does matter greatly in this one. I think that if Grams beats Rowan tonight, I think that the Rams can win in a, running Dust Bowl game. But I think if Rowan wins, I think that RD will have a tougher time keeping up with a passing offense. I noticed, when I was playing him, passing defense for RD seemed a little loose. So I think if he goes up against somebody who's just out there airing it out, I think he could have a tough time keeping up. So I think if Rowan wins, I go Giants. I think if Grams wins, I go Rams.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, so that's gonna do it for our predictions. Before we go here though, who do you think wins the Simbardi? Tiny, we'll start with you. Who's your prediction to win it all?
Should I be short and sweet, or just or do you want me to tell you?
Do you have a different version?
Yeah. Why do anything different? You might as well go with what works.
All right.
This man's like, in this show, I'm trying to play PS5.
All right. Prime. That's it. That's all I got. Prime.
All right. Yeah. What about you, Foz?
It does feel like it's shaping up to be a prime Super Bowl season. I mean, I want to pick myself, but
so hard, man.
Yeah, I want to pick myself, but to avoid putting the jinx on, I'm actually going to go with Dan on this one. I think he gets his running back. I think his running back comes back at some point. Everybody sleeps on him. Everybody's calling him, the guy who collapses in the playoffs. I don't see it. I think that we see Dan Prime AFC Championship. I think Dan wins a close one, beats the NFC.
Shoo.
Yeah,
That's nice.
I'm gonna go
I like
with
that.
Dan as well.
Hey,
I like it.
I just think he's too good to not win one eventually. And with QB gone,
you know it's
I
coming.
think-
it's just a matter of which
It's
season
coming.
is it.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's coming.
I
just
think
don't
it's
know
going to
if
be
it's
this
year.
one. I mean, Prime's had a fairly easy week 17. I think he had the Texans in week 17.
Prime's had it easy the last 10 weeks.
Well, you're playing the second
So,
the second place schedule. I guess it would be a little easier. But
Ooh, hey.
but he's
wait, didn't he beat Bomber a few weeks ago?
Well,
yeah, it maybe do a giveaway right in the middle of the game.
Don't worry
4
about that.
times.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and quit bringing
Didn't
up facts. Now you got stuff to say before you're just throwing out team names. Wish I had a mute button over here. Anyway, but yeah, I think Dan's gonna win. Prime's had the Texans, which is basically an off week, and then he had a first round bye. That's gonna be another off week. I think he could show a little rust, and if he does, I think Dan will capitalize on that.
I can see that.
But he's gonna have a warm up game. Well, I say warm up game. It'll probably be a tough match, but he's gonna have a game before he meets Dan because they're the 1 and 2 seed. So
Is that against you, Bomber? Is that what you're talking about?
it could be, I think.
You better hope it's not a good track record.
Yeah, it's just I don't know who it would be. I mean, it depends how our picks go, I guess, with the Ravens Raiders, because Prime's he's not gonna get the Ravens as the AFC North champs. So if I win,
Right.
he would get me. But if it's Raiders and me, I think he gets the Raiders. So it just depends how the games shake out, who he's gonna have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Dan as well. I think he's just playing
I like that.
playing really well.
I like Dan or Prime. Would be either one. The ones that I would pick.
All right, well, way to make a commitment to one. That's good.
Just checking out the tip on my shoulder here.
Yep.
Nobody in the NFC. Yeah, I'm not committed to the NFC at all.
I mean, I think we can put that argument to bed that the AFC is easily better than the NFC.
Hey, I didn't say
Oh
that.
no, it's like way better. Yeah, it's like not even a competition anymore.
I mean, Meats played 2 AFC South teams at the top, lost to both of those.
Didn't he lose
But he also lost to Coop.
against the AFC South?
What's that?
Didn't he go 1 and 3 in the AFC
1 and
South
3
this
against the AFC South, yeah.
year? That's pretty rough.
And
Doing
that's
his
your
dirty Meats.
that's
Get
your
it together.
Super Bowl representative from last season. So I think we can put to bed the AFC NFC.
I blame
conversation
Kirk
for a while.
Cousins.
Now I will
We'll
say
see
there are
next
guys
week,
in the NFC, well, yourself and maybe RD that can come away with a Simbardi win, but as a whole, I think the AFC's far better.
Yeah,
We'll see next
unfortunately, I think the NFC has to wave the white flag on that argument. But
Yeah.
you know,
We'll wait till next year. We'll see.
yeah,
guys.
we'll wave the white flag on that, and then we'll steal a Simbardi or 2 or 3. So
I mean, it was just a rough last couple weeks because you had Meats drop 2 to the AFC, and then
Didn't do us
and
any favors.
Dookie coming out and just laying a Dookie.
Yeah, Dookie got his ass beat by Paulie.
Yeah, that wasn't even close,
demolished.
and he's supposed to be the number 1 seed. So,
well,
yeah.
shouldn't have been, but
Shouldn't have been.
showbiz.
Dookie
But he's
was our
15
last hope, man. He went there and got raped.
But he's
by Paulie.
15 and 1, so I mean, with that NFC schedule, he didn't have any
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah,
But it was also
yeah,
I
not
think
a lot
that-
we can say at this
I
point.
think it was also a last place NFC schedule because he took over for Field, so it was
Yeah,
a little
That helps.
light schedule. So we'll see going forward. But he's
Yeah,
got the
that
playoffs
helps.
to prove it. But that's going to be it for this episode of Heat Check. I think that puts us right at about 44 minutes.
Better than last week.
Better than
Hey,
last
that was
week for
nice,
sure.
man. I like
Once we're done editing, it'll be even shorter.
There you go. Big MVP there for Tiny for his super in-depth thoughts.
Come on now. I did my best. Come on.
Hey man, it was a pleasure having you.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
Absolutely.
we just needed to find somebody that didn't make the playoffs, and you fit that
Oh, thanks. Awesome.
that category. So, I mean, we could probably have you on every playoff edition in that case.
Cool. Oh,
Man,
all
Bomber
right.
just
Yeah.
Absolutely
We'll
ruthless. Holy.
Oh, I like to play with Tiny.
I see that.
And in case
I
anybody
know.
missed it, which you guys did because you can't see my camera, but I have my SML sweatshirt on right now.
Hey, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go play on PS5 fast. I'll be right back.
Don't we all have PS5s at this point?
Oh, wait,
I think
you
all
got
Yeah, I
three
think
of
we
us
do.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm sorry. I thought I was giving you shit, and I guess I'm not.
Nope.
No, it's all right. I've been on it for a week or so here, just waiting for you to catch up.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate it, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you.
Let me get a heat check, heat check, heat check, heat check, heat check, heat check, heat. Can I get a heat check, 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 heat check. Let me get a heat check, heat check, heat check, heat check.